But there's good and bad about being admitted to hospital. There's nothing restful or relaxing about being on a ward, you know. Things have improved. We've got new hospitals now. There's places where you stay in a single room and you've got your own ensuite bathroom. So it's much better, but I know that the staff there, they're just trying to help me. But looking back over the years, I just can't forget how it used to be. I've experienced some of the worst times of my life in hospital. But you know what? A part of me is so thankful that I was admitted. Yeah. It could be horrendous. It was lonely and frightening, but being in hospital kept me safe until my crisis had sort of passed, you know. And I know that if I'd not been on a ward when I was literally at my worst, then I probably wouldn't be here today. It's definitely a downside to being in and out of hospital or being there for long periods of time. You become institutionalised. Everything is done for you in hospital. You know, it's all your day-to-day stuff, like your meals and your washing and things like that. You know, your normal everyday stuff. And you need that. You need looking after because you're poorly. Well, that's great. But the longer you stay in hospital, it means the more the outside world stops being a real place. You know, it's a place where you have to do all those things for yourself, and when you do come out and you've got to face the real world on your own, it can be overwhelming, it can be crushing. It crushes you. Do you know? You just feel completely crushed by it. It's just the sheer weight of everyday stuff that other people take completely for granted. Shopping. Dealing with money. You know, just even getting yourself to and from the shops, it can be too much. It can be overpowering and completely consuming. It overwhelms you. It makes you feel like crap and it makes you feel stupid, and I'm not. You know, and the longer you stay in hospital, the harder it is to cope with it. And I'm really not sure if some of the staff understand that. Well, hospitals shouldn't isolate you. Shouldn't institutionalise you. Hospital should be there to help you get back into your real life, get back into the real world. A world where you've got to look after yourself, where you want to look after yourself and be able to do things for yourself. I don't think they understand what the transition does to you. I'm well looked after when I'm in hospital. I'm cared for. I need to be cared for because I'm not well. I know that. They know that. But just because I'm well enough to not be in hospital doesn't mean I'm well enough to deal with everyday life. It's a huge, huge change, and I don't think they understand how difficult basic things are. The longer you stay in hospital, the worse it gets, because like in hospital, I get up in the morning, I'll have a wash in my little ensuite, and I'll come down and my breakfast will be there on the table. I don't know that they've had to go out and get that shopping, they've had somebody cook that, they've had somebody clean the plates, put it on the plate and put it in front of me for me to eat. That's the process that it's got to go through for me to get my breakfast. I've forgotten what that process is like, so I just stand there in the kitchen in the morning and go, where's my breakfast? Oh, I've got to cook it myself. I don't know what to do. I can't go in the shop. I don't know what to ask for. I don't think they understand that. You know, like a plane. You start the engine. You've got all your passengers in your plane. You're the pilot. You're the pilot of your plane. You slam your foot down and you're on that runway, and then you can take off. Coming to the end of a crisis is the taking off point. I've got to take off when I'm ready. I can't be forced to go before that or after that. It's going to be disastrous. I'm a plane and I am my own pilot. I tell you when I'm ready to take off and when I'm ready to stay on the ground. I don't think they understand that it's dangerous for me to not be here when I need to be here, or for me to be out when I'm out. Do you understand that? I do think the staff understand. I do, God bless them, they understand. But when they finish work at the end of the day, after they've let me out, they don't know where I've gone. They don't know that I've got no home to go to. Where do I go? I've been in there for 6 months. I haven't got a home. Sometimes it just feels like you've got a torch and no batteries. You know, you've got the torch, you know. I've been in here that many times. I know what I've got to do just for myself as well, and what the staff have got to do to help me find the batteries to go in the torch. I desperately want to be able to use the torch, but sometimes you just can't do it. It's incapable of getting something to work when your mind's not working properly. I don't want to be in darkness. You stub your toes. You don't know where you're going. You're falling over. You know, when you finally get into the light, everything's clearer. Sounds like a cliche, but it is literally the light at the end of the tunnel. Got your torch, got your batteries, you're good to go. And if you don't let me out then, I'll nosedive again. I'll lose my batteries. I'll be stubbing my toes. Being in hospital is like having a pet. It sounds strange. I mean, I did have a dog, so I know how to look after a dog. And in hospital, I'm like the pet who's being looked after for all the right reasons. They put the food down in front of me. I don't know where it comes from, but I know that it comes from somebody who cares for me, the same as I'd do for a dog. And when you're in the outside world, you've got to try and figure out how that person put the food down for you. You've got to do it for yourself. You've had everything done for you in hospital, which is great because you need it, because you're really sick. So it's not an issue. But when you come out, you've got to try and figure all of these things out for yourself yet again. And it's difficult.